Hello guys, so this is kind of what I kind of expect from the next Elder Scrolls game, from what we've seen so far with Starfield. How Starfield will improve the next Elder Scrolls game. So, and kind of where I expect it to go, or where I want it to go, or I'm hoping it will go really. So, Starfield is pretty much a passion project from Bethesda, and especially Todd Howard. They've always wanted to make a space game, and they've finally got around to it. And it's freaking massive, man. I mean, none of their games really compare to Starfield at all, again, because it's in space, and it's, well, nothing they've ever really done before. I mean, Skyrim, as original download, is friggin'... Oh, man, I think it's like 9 gig, I think. 9 gig. And it only takes like 30 minutes to download. I think Special Edition might have been 19 gig, and I think Fallout 4 might have been 32 gig. This game's going to be 132 gig, and rightfully so, because it's freaking massive. 1,000 planets, 100 with life. That is nuts, man. But, yeah, in an interview that Todd had, he said he's always wanted to, the team has always wanted to make a space game. They sat down, they thought about, what games they wanted to make, and it was Skyrim, Fallout, and eventually a space game. And they're now finally at that, where they're about to release their first ever space game. And it looks massive. And well, I want to also reference another interview that he's had that he talks about his mortality, that he knows he won't be around for TES 7. He's still got to get the Elder Scrolls 6 out, Fallout 5 out, maybe even a Starfield 2. And he knows he's getting on in age. He might not be around for the next TES, like TES 7, because man, TES 5 to TES 6 is going to be a good 15 or 16 years apart from each other, and that is, man, that's a long time. When you really think about it, a very long time when it comes to gaming, or even running a shop, running a development team. So, Todd has always mentioned in the past that he's wanted to make an Elder Scrolls game, which included all of Tamriel, but unfortunately, he didn't have the technology. Now, we've seen with Starfield, they've now got that technology. They've now easily got it. They can build 1,000 planets with multiple parts of this planet. You can land anywhere on the planet and it'll generate a certain radius of map, and then it just proves they can do it. And I think since this is most likely going to be Todd's last test game, he's going to go with a bang. He's going to want the next test game to be his legacy game, and I hopefully believe that we'll be able to get it all Tamriel in the next Elder Scrolls game. Kind of where I expect it to go though is like the Three Kingdoms, a Beyond Skyrim mod. But Bethesda's, where they're going to pretty much do High Rock and Hammerfell, because they always release a game and they talk about the previous, a certain other map a lot in it, and we've heard so much about Hammerfell with the Old Mode Dominion. So maybe I believe that we're going to go there, that we're going to be sent to Hammerfell and High Rock and sort that problem out there. But man, I don't think you can really release Starfield with 1,000 planets, or maybe 3 or 4 big city planets, and then tell me that you can't do an Elder Scrolls game in all Tamriel. Would it take a lot longer? Probably not. I mean, I don't know, man. You can... The reason I play Elder Scrolls Online, or played Elder Scrolls Online, was because I loved the idea of just going around all of Tamriel, from the cold regions of Skyrim to the hot regions of Hammerfell. That shit was awesome, man. Apart from me being an Australian, the ping was absolutely garbage when it comes to PvP. But I don't know. I really hope that they use what they're doing now with the 1,000 planets and make the next Elder Scrolls game one in all of Tamriel, and their DLC maps could be like where the Sea Elves come from, or Akaviri. How interesting would that be, seeing Akaviri for the first time? That it could also introduce an entirely new playable race. I mean, we've got every race in this game pretty much. Black, white, all that sort of stuff. Different big foreheads, big noses. We've got red guards for dark-skinned people. Shit tons of humans, and do your typical elves, your dark elf, your wood elf, your high elf. What we don't have is any Asian representation, or any sort of Asian race in this game. And how cool would it be going to Akavir after thousands of years of anyone being there, to find out that yes, the Akaviri are gone, but there's been slaves they took back from Tamriel, humans that kind of bred with them or whatever in there, and they they look Japanese or Chinese. You know, like, ever since Akaviri pretty much went extinct, these humans, they have run the place ever since, and maybe they're fighting with some other elf version. I don't know. I was thinking like a South Korean elf version, but like, well, you got two different human cultures: the Japanese culture and the Chinese culture. They're going to war on Akavir. You know, since whenever the Akaviri went extinct, these two human cultures have thrived, and I don't know. I'd really like to see that, because that'd be really interesting, especially to get an Akaviri and even have an Asian race. It's one thing we're missing. Imperials, Britons are based off the pretty much medieval France and England. Imperials are based off the Romans and the Greeks, and the Nords are based off the Vikings, which is easy enough. But yeah, like I said, we've got no Asian representation of any race, and no doubt there are shit tons of Asians that love playing this game, that would love a race, and they do that with modded Skyrim, and you can even make it look like that with Nords. I made one of my female characters, like, gave her pale skin, black hair, and a certain eye shape, and she looked Asian. So yeah, like, man, that'd be a game I would 100% give it all to. Now, in every typical Bethesda game, they like to destroy a city with, I'm not sure about Morrowind, but with Elder Scrolls 4, it was Kvatch, and then it was Helgen. They never let you rebuild these things, but maybe now that they're doing all the settlement system, there might be even a way for them to do that. Like, you could be in the first city, whatever happens in the game, you're a prisoner or whatever, and that city is destroyed during the game's events. But you come back later and you buy the rights to the land, or you've earned it as a hero, you can then rebuild the city, like, I guess like Blades was, but a lot more like the settlement builder, to where you could physically rebuild the city in the open world, and it's no longer just an eyesore or a useless city like Kvatch was. Because, you know, without the mod Rebuild Kvatch was just a useless part of the map after its quest was done, which is unfortunate. Same thing with Helgen Reborn. You know, it's just another useless bandit mark on the map. But I don't know. Like, if they're doing, how could it have like pirate battles out in sea, or naval battles, or just exploring the Sea of Ghosts and other grand parts of the sea, and you could modify ships and stuff like that, like you can with spaceships. There's so many things that could vastly improve the next Elder Scrolls game. With what we're seeing in Starfield, we could finally have, you know, sea content, settlement building and rebuilding whatever city gets destroyed, or rebuilding villages, and like, that'd be cool, man. Like, you got this entire hold to yourself, like the main hold just got destroyed. So let's say Kvatch, for example, you've rebuilt Kvatch, and then you've rebuilt mining towns and lumber towns and farming towns around it, and mining towns to kind of give it a lot more thing, but you've customly built those, or you've added prefabs and customized around them, which kind of gives more resource to your city. You know, you've now got farms, you've got mines, you've got lumber, you've got all that sort of stuff that any sort of county needs. That would be awesome, man. Like, yeah, becoming the count, the jarl, the king, the emperor, whatever. Giving the ability to really use your settlement system sort of stuff. So yeah, these are just ideas and kind of what I hope for. I really, like, I mean, I would give my left nut for an Elder Scrolls game set in Tamriel, and like, because I believe that's what Todd really wants to get done before he leaves. He wants this to be his legacy game, because he's always wanted, and pretty much everyone has, man. That's why, you know, big mods like Beyond Skyrim are coming out, because people want to go to all Tamriel in one game. And we've seen with Starfield, they obviously now have the tech for that. They easily have the tech for that. Because, like, man, 1,000 planets, Jesus Christ. The first time I actually heard about Starfield, you know, from like leaks and rumors from Maddie and all that sort of stuff, I laughed, man. I was like, fuck off. There's no way Bethesda can make a space game, dude. Man, there's no friggin' way. Like, you've got small little maps like Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 and Skyrim. They're one big, you know, like, these maps are, I'd say they're fair size, but after many years of playing them, they feel small. I was like, there's no way they're going to be able to do a space game. What are they going to have? 3 planets and a bit of space, and then you're going to bounce between the others? Like, that was my first reaction. I was like, dude, they're not going to be able to do that shit. Because from what they do now, there's no way they're going to be able to do that. And obviously, they proved me wrong. They showed that they could definitely do a space game, and with what they've shown so far, man, the next Elder Scrolls game better not just be one little tiny map. I better not be going to High Rock or Hammerfell, or the Somersets, or even Valenwood. Like, man, you're gonna need to at least sell me 3 places, or all of them. And with how long it's taken Bethesda from Elder Scrolls 5 to the next Elder Scrolls 6, do they have more than enough time? I think they freaking have, dude. They've definitely had more than enough time to create all of Tamriel, and they've got the tech there to do it, like the procedural generation, like just blur out the fucking Tamriel and then fix it up as they go, and towns, cities, that sort of thing. But that's just my general thoughts, and that's what I really hope for the next Elder Scrolls game, because it's still another 5 or so years off, and I hope they knock it out of the park. I would hands down do backflips and front flips and fly kicks and that sort of shit for an Elder Scrolls 6 set in Tamriel, where it's not just one place. That's the dream, and that's why I'm still playing Skyrim, waiting for Beyond Skyrim mods, because I want to leave Skyrim, whilst still being part of the Skyrim game and go to a different country and do that, because Skyrim's a game that I love, because it's modding freedom. And having that in all Tamriel would be like the perfect dream game by far. And not having to need mods, well, man, that on its own would, I don't know. I've rattled for long enough, but hopefully some of you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you agree, give it a like, comment if you want, and what you think or want from the next Elder Scrolls game, and how Starfield's going to fix it or make it better. Anyway, I'm going to get out of your hair. Catch you later. Be safe. Catch ya.